Woo! Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. I made a post the other day about the identification that we have to what we do. I'll raise my hand, totally guilty of this. You know, I, for a long period of time in my life, have identified myself with what I do for work. Because what I do for work is part of me. You know, coaching people, running a business, you know, charitable work, etc., has been part of me. But it isn't me. And being able to create space between what I do and who I am is super important, because they're not the same. Yes, there's bits and pieces and parts, but what I see is with high achievers, people who set goals and attain them, no matter the cost, no matter the sacrifice, begin to identify themselves with it. When I started as a personal trainer 18, 19 years ago, my mission was two things: help the people that I was serving and get as much education as possible. Now, how you view the education is up to you, but I would go and take every single test, every single certification known to man, and I would start to identify myself in those achievements. So every time I got one, then I would add on, and then all of a sudden, here I am, I've got 19 certifications, and then here I am talking about how many certifications I have. And then I become this identity that is related to what I do for work. Well, who am I outside of that? In varying points in my life, I've lost myself to it. And if I can't separate the two, then it becomes completely absorbed with it. And I now have only one identity, and that is what I do for a living. And yes, that may be what I spend the most amount of time on, but that isn't just me. I'm a human. I like sports, okay? I like different activities. I like music. I'm a son. I've got family. I've got all these other things that are a part of who I am that is independent of what I do. And I think it's super important to remember, because I coach a lot of people who are perfectionists, who are people pleasers. I myself have been both, in varying degrees, still have issues with both. But it's really important to remember, when you die, on your tombstone, it isn't going to say what you did for a living. Now, it may have the effect that you had on other people, and that's awesome. But what you do for a living is not all-encompassing on what you are and who you are. And that's truly important to remember, to be able to differentiate the two. Pushing yourself and sacrificing yourself at every single moment, independent on all the other responsibilities that you may have, all the other goals that you may have outside of such, just the sheer fact of rest and relaxation and rejuvenation. It's important to remember, you are not what you do. Just like you are not your trauma, you are not your past. You are you, and that's enough. Pushing yourself to the nth degree, never saying no, and constantly pleasing others when you're not pleasing yourself is unhealthy. I know. I've been there. So, my message to you today is this. When you find yourself having an identity crisis, okay, for a poor choice of words, for lack of a better explanation, it's important to remember to separate yourself from what you do and who you are, because what you do is not who you are. It's also important to remember that you are one of a kind, There is no other person like you. You have gifts and talents that the world needs and the world deserves from you. And you have to be held responsible for how extraordinary that you are. You may not believe that as I'm saying it. It's okay. Maybe you'll get there. But by all means, understand you are not what you do. It's a part of you. It's not who you are. #value found value.